And we're back.
And we're back.
Now we're back here
Yo.
at the Shiva School Show, Shteigin There, Season 6, Episode Questionmark. And we're on Yudches Amabayis in Maseches Avodah Zarah, Perek Lifnei Eidehem. Without further ado, Zok the Heilig of Brisa Tanu Rabbanan, we learned in
Raisa.
Berais Haholech Itztadinin Vilikarkom. So someone who goes Itztadin, what does an Itztadin sound like, an English word?
Like a stadium?
Oh, baby. Exactly. So he goes to a stadium or to a thing called the Karkom, which is probably some other hangout, you know. Coconut water. Fluoride free.
Coconut wigs. Very good.
Coconut wigs.
Yo, happy birthday, by the way.
Oh, me? Thanks.
Gotta give
Thank
a shout out
so
and
much.
cheer to the Haliga.
It's Minak Barai. You know. So on last week's parsha, who's having his birthday party?
Barai.
Minak Barai. I did have cake last night. It was good wild thing. All right. Nice. So so we see snakes and the snake charmers. Bokion, Umokion, Umolion, Velolion. I don't know what any of those things are. Belurin, maybe let's do the haircut. Salgurin, don't know at all. Harizem Moshav Leitzim. If you see those things at the stadium, then it's considered a Moshav Leitzim. I'll sit down anywhere that's not the Moshav Leitzim Taka.
Ah, okay.
It says that Leitzim is like a clown dwelling. And it says in Pasuk, right? It says the Aleim Akaz of Omer, and the Pasuk says, right? This is the first Pasuk in all of Tehillim. Asher Ha'ish Asher Lo Halach. What's the pasuk? The whole pasuk. Asher Ha'ish Asher Lo Halach Ba'atzes Rishayim. Oh, we see Eitzah again. We're talking about Eitzah, right? Higdil Eitzah. So Eitzah could be good, but Eitzah could also be bad. We saw the Eitzah of the Eitzah. We saw the Eitzah of the Torah Kedusha. So fortunate is the guy who does not walk in the counsel of the evils. Ubederech Chatayim Lo Amad, and doesn't stand in the path of sinners. Uvemoshav Leitzim Lo Yashav, and he doesn't sit in a place where like clowns are sitting, you know, like the UN. Oh, what a deep cut, you know. But it's interesting that it talks about halach, that he doesn't walk like this. He doesn't walk this way. He doesn't stand this way. He doesn't sit this way. And all of like his modes, he's separated from sinners and just clowns. Evil people, sinners, and clowns. 3 different categories. So, but right. So it says that ki im b'Torah Adonai chefto. Second pasuk. No, he should. The Torah of Hashem. He should long, right? He should long for the Torah of Hashem. You know. Halamarida shedevarim halalu mevi'in as adam lidei bittul Torah. So we see that, you know, and we have to see exactly what that thing is with the snakes and what were those items, but in the Gemara, in the Rashi. So we see that the other things that are not Torah bring to bittul Torah. You know, you can go to a stadium, you can go to a snake charmer. Come on, bittul Torah over here. Right? Pasha, like, what are you doing? What are you wasting your time? But if a person wants to go to a stadium, it's chilling. I'd say that, you know, a person's got to chill and mental health, you know. But That's what the Gemara says in the Havamina, that you see that these things brings to Bittul Torah Uraminhu, Uraminhi, and there's a stire. Uraminhi holchin liitztadinin mutter mipnei shetzavach umatzil. So you're allowed to go to a stadium, it says, because you can yell and save people. You can be like, "Yo, don't drink fluoride in your water. Don't have toothpaste." You can yell, and save people. Maybe that's what it means, right? The charkum, and also this other thing which I'm not sure, karkum, maybe it's like a circus or something. I don't know. Mutter, why? Mipnei Yishuv Medina. You could do that because, like, you want to support your local circus, Shalom Aleichem, Avi Meir. We're talking about going to stadiums, right? And in one place, the Gemara says that it's Moshav Leitzim, but that way we're bringing a brisa list store that says that you're allowed to go to a stadium because you can yell and tell people, like, right? It says you can yell and save, right? You can say, "Don't get the vaccine," just like get the word out, Don't wear masks. Don't use fluoride, whatever. We said that example already. Okay. But then it says you go to this karkum, which you said maybe the circus, but we're blind, make it mutter because you're supporting the Medina, you're supporting your neighborhood stuff. So for Yishuv Medina, you can go to the marketplace, or not the marketplace, you can go to buy stuff. You can go to like some, I don't know, some stand-up show, for example. Yishuv Medina, So
Basically, what you're saying is you could go to the Mets game. You just gotta say "do tshuva" every other inning.
No, if you see anyone drinking fluorinated water or wearing a mask, like it's a good zach to if we can like free ourselves and free them,
right?
From the shibud. As long as you're not like considered one of them, right? As long as you're not considered, right, just like another, I don't know. But if you're counted amongst them, so then it's aser, right? So the Gemara says, well, it's like it's a stira. Kasha, it's the dinin, and kasha. One second. Just give me a sigri. I just gotta do a zach with siyata dishmigs. You're with me? I just gotta parents to share today, and they're not in, and so I just want to resend them.
Who did you invite? How did you send it to them?
I send them the link.
To who?
The link to Annie.
You want me to call her and see if she can figure it out?
Well, I just don't want them to feel bad that they weren't able to come.
So let me call her and see what her story is.
Okay, but if it's not today, then she can come another day. I just
right.
I want to Steig. All right. Oh, she's coming in. It's Allah de Meir Anani over here. So we have a contradiction, a stadium to the stadium, and we have a contradiction of the karkum, which I'm not sure about, to the other karkum, right? Because the first price it says you can't if you go to a stadium and a karkum, and you see like snake charmers and stuff. So it's Moshav Leitzim. It's like clown setting. Annie and Papa, welcome to Shir. Your guys' mic is on mute, but it is very nice to have you guys here. Okay, so So now we have a contradiction. We have the stadium to the stadium. The one place you say going to a stadium is like is not like a place for serious people. It brings you to not to do bittul Torah, to not learn. But in the other brisa, in the other source from the Tanaim, we see that you're allowed to go, as long as you're not like counted amongst the nations, and you're allowed to go also to the Karkum. So the Gemara says, well, this is a double contradiction. So they say like this, the Gemara says like this. It says, Karkum a Karkum, which you're not sure, maybe somebody did the circus. That's not a contradiction. The circus under the circus. Lokacha. Khan b'mitchashev. What? Don't say something?
Sorry, that was me. I put it on mute.
Oh no, it's okay. So it's not, because you can say that, yeah, the Karkum, when he said you can't go to the Karkum, see if the Rashi says anything about what the Karkum is, just to be able to touch it. Karkum it's a matzor, the ocean sham schok v'leitzanas. Bro, it's a stand-up comedy place.
No way.
Yeah. It's a
Get
place
out,
where they
get out of town. Get out of town.
I'm just reading Pshat and Rashi.
Is that
So
the shot?
what does it say? So stand-up comedy is also?
No, so we have one brisa which says that you're not supposed to go to a stand-up place.
Yeah.
And one brisa which says, of course you can, for Yishuv Medina, meaning stand-up comedy and like getting together with the community and laughing about stuff is something that the Gemara tells us is a chashuv azach, because it brings people together and it, right? So then why did one brisa say that you shouldn't go into Moshav Leitzim? That's if you're mitchashev imahim. That's if you're like considered one of them. One of the rabble, one of the idolatrous gang. But right, but if you're if like you know who you are and you know what you're doing, you know what like your intentions are, so then go for it. Big mitzvah. Yishuv Medina. So kan b'she'em itchashmem. Ella, it's tadinin, but any and Baba, but going to the stadium, we really have a big contradiction, because we have one source telling us we can, and one source telling us we shouldn't. One source says we ought, and one source says we oughtn't. One source says green light, one source says red light. What do you say, Shlig?
I don't understand the stira, because it seems like it's saying that on the one hand you can't go, but on the other hand you shouldn't go unless you're going to have these conditions. So isn't the stira answered by the second brisa?
You mean you want to say that you want to say that we can answer the just like we said by the stand up and the not stand up. Like you can go to stand up, you can't go to stand up. Oh no, if the stand up, if you're mitchashev, then you can't. If you're considered one of them, you can't. If you're not considered one of them, then you can. Why don't you say that same bifurcation by the stadium?
That sounds like it sounds like my argument.
Yeah, that's a good question. That's what the Gemara says.
I have another question. I got a question also. What happens if you go to the stadium and it causes tremendous suffering and character buildup? Oh,
for the Mets, I think it's an Issur D'Oraisa to go to a Mets game on account of you're not allowed to injure yourself. And going
it's like cutting your.
It's like Lotus go to do, right? Yeah. Going to the Mets game is like torturing yourself for nothing. You can go to the Mets game as long as you don't let the sports affect you emotionally.
They don't care about you, Herenstein.
Herenstein doesn't care about you. As long as you're not rolling the dice in the Super Show. But let's see. Maybe right? The Gemara says you can go, you can't go to the stadium. Right? But the Kuli Alba, you can't go to City Field, Shea Stadium, maybe. So he says, so stadium, kasha. So it says, no, it's machlokas Tanai. So the Tanaim have a disagreement whether or not you can go to the stadium. I guess the Gemara could have answered like the second one. The Gemara had a different answer for this one. It says Tanai, Titania, because it says in Bereise, Shkayach. Ein hochen at stadion mit name Moshav Leitzin. It's not a common sense. You can go to a stadium. You're gonna sit there, get drunk with all the riffraff. It doesn't say it's Azar even. It just says it's Moshav Leitzin. It's better not to be a Moshav Leitzin. It's better to be sitting in Shteigin There. So, but Rabbi Nassan says Rabbi Nassan is matir. He allows it. Why? Mipnei shnei devarim. Two reasons that you can go to the Mets game. One is Senga, and one is Scherzer. The Mets have this, but the Mets have this new pitcher who I really want to see pitch. He's like an ace from Japan. Dad, what's his name? Senga?
I think so. Yeah.
What's his last name?
Kado. I think it's Kodai
Kodai or something.
Kodai Senga.
Kodai Senga. Yeah.
Oh.
Yo, geez, it's not the most racist thing that was said in the middle of share. We've had N-bombs drop, but still. Kodai Senga. Hopefully he will throw. Yo, why do Japanese throw such good curveballs? I'm not even saying the punchline. Dad, you started. Also, Shlomo did whatever. It's here. Someone yesterday at stand up made a great point that listen, humans, we love all humans, but some humans are different than others. Like we all have differences, and often those differences are funny, right? We should be able to laugh at it as long as we're all laughing at each other. We're all chilling. As long as there's love, all of this quote unquote racism stuff is all just to divide and conquer us, to take away our sense of humor.
Listen, bro, I love samurai movies. I was just talking with Gabriel about samurai karate movies. Like, they're the best. Is it racist of me to love other cultures? So it's like bro. It can't be racist to laugh at some of the
exactly
like you say.
Exactly, like in the movie Rush Hour, they were like, right? I don't understand the words going on. They were like joking about it, and now they're trying to turn it back on us. It's all psychological warfare. Laugh at everyone and love everyone. Okay. So Rabbi Nassan's matir for two reasons. One, of course, is that like when we're at the stadium, we have the ability to like reach more people and we can save them. We can yell and be like, "Yo, what are you doing with that mask? Are you insane?" Right? Or why? What are you doing? Don't vote. There's no democracy. Or something like that, Or what are you doing? Don't get on Jeffrey Epstein's plane. We can save people. We can tell you about what's up. So that's one. And the other reason, whoa. So you can give edus, you can give testimony for a woman that she can go get married. So what are we talking about? We're talking about a bullfighting stadium.
Really?
I think so, because then you'd be like, yo, I was at the stadium and I saw that her husband got killed, and so now she can go get remarried. Otherwise, she would just be in Aguna.
What about the Colosseum?
You wouldn't know what happened to the husband. What?
What about the Colosseum or other Roman battles that they were doing?
Talking about bread and circuses,
That's what it's talking about?
They say, give them bread, give them circuses, and they won't revolt, even if we mistreat them.
I hear you, bro.
And that's the pshat. Like, don't be considered amongst them. Don't be like imahem. Don't be like, oh, I'm going to the stadium and I'm forgetting about the fact that we're still in Mitzrayim. The fact that we are right now in Mitzrayim under the foot of the inheritors of the Egyptian servitude or enslaving, the perfidious and evil satanic pedophilic Roman Empire, sitting in Washington, London, Vatican. Okay, so that was what we got to a dot. We got to a dot, and now we're gonna go over it with the Rashi. Annie and Papa, congratulations! We did a whole Gemara, and we're gonna go. We're still going further. But I can't hear you guys talk, but I can feel that you guys are with me, and I love you guys very much. Okay, so when Rashi says that you can't, when the Gemara says you can't go to a stadium, booyah. What does Rashi say? Magom she menagchin es hashor, a place where they have bullfighting.
Nice.
Let's go. Let's go. Put
Let's
it up. And then Karkum, Rashi says Matzor, the ocean sham schok v'leitzanas. Stand up. Really stand up.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
That's
Or
unbelievable.
improv, maybe, you know? It's like a comedy bunker.
Wow.
You know? So you see, if you see there at the stadium or at the stand-up comedy place, if you see there snakes, so what does Rashi say about the snakes? These snakes and snake charmers, right? So Rashi says menachshim u'mekashim, so magicians, right? Sometimes you go to one of these places and you see these magicians, and they say, "You see this empty hat? Well, I just pulled out a rabbit." Trick. My yid, we've been tricked. Trick. Right? So they do tricks. V'esa chaverim lochshe nachashim, snake charmers, like we said. And then I said, I don't know the next four words, like Boki and Moki and Lulian and Mulian. And Lulian and Salagruyon. So they actually don't mention Blorin, which is the only one that I kind of knew, which is like a hairdo of sorts, of sorts. He says, Kulan mine leitzanim him. Oh, there's just different types of clowns, right? Because you can have the happy clown and the sad clown, and you can have the drunk clown and the clown with the funny haircut, you know, and the clown with the hat that does this. And so there are a bunch of different types of clowns there. So you can't go because it's Moshav Leitzim, right? It says, fortunate is the guy who doesn't sit down in these Moshav Leitzim, but actually he's Shteigin There. So Holamadata, from the fact that, because the first verse in the first psalm says, fortunate is the guy who does not sit down with clowns, right? And then it says the next verse. It says rather his desire should be for the words of Torah, the words of Torah from the Heilig Hamayra. So halamadata midasamich le kiim Torah mechlal the azil lahani. We can infer that this other stuff is like the guys go into all these shows or whatever. We can see that his heart doesn't desire the Torah. If he's gonna be mischashev, maybe okay, fine. So it says, right? So then we have another brisa which says that you can go. Why? Because the guy yells and saves. And so the way we were learning yells and saves is, bro, why are you wearing a mask? What are you, crazy? Don't you know that you're feeding into the agenda that's going to wipe us all out? Right? Don't you know that? Don't you have eyes? That's what we thought the shot of Tzavach Umatzil is, right? That you can yell and you can save. But Rashi says that it's a little different, I think. Rashi says, Tzavach Umatzil, he says, Im roeh sheyagichu sham Yehudi soek umischanen lahem umatzilo. They could be like, oh my God, it's Moshe. It's Moshe. They're going to have Moshe fight a bull. And then he can like yell and be like, no, this is not the guy. Take a different slave or whatever. It's a really rough time. Could you imagine? Yo, yeah, like going to stadiums and like saving people who can't save themselves. It's kind of similar to warning about like the poisonous vaccine, because like like this guy who got caught, the guy's caught, the guy's propagandized, right? He has no clue what's going on in the world, and he needs to be saved. He needs to be saved, right? The guy got caught. He can't save himself anymore. The guy who gets caught and they're making him fight against a bull. He needs someone from the outside to come in and save him. And Savach Umatzil. So I think our shot also stems. And then why are you allowed to go to the stand-up comedy? According to the second source, it says Mipnei Yishuv Medina. So it says Medina says Yisrael Hadarim Be'osa Ha'ir Shezem Mevakesh B'nei Yishuv Akarkum Lahatzilam. There's a Hagosa Bach. It says Yoshve Krachim, and on the Hagosa Bach there's a Hagosa Tzionim, and that tells us the last word. It says B'nei Yishuv Karkum. Rashi says Me'ez B'nei Karkum. Okay, so Yishuv Medina Yisrael Adarim Ba'Yisrael Shazam Vakesh B'nei Karkum. Let's see. I don't know what exactly like Rashi says this Yishuv HaMedina is. I like our shot of Yishuv HaMedina. That when you go and you laugh as a community, right? And that's also we're talking about the racism stuff, right? Like quote unquote. That like no, we gotta laugh as a species, you know? We gotta do that. And that is why you can go to stand up because of Yishuv Medina. As long as you're not Yischa Mahem, you're not considered amongst them. So what does that mean? Shlo Yischa Mahem. Lechazek Ovdei Kochavim Lazosi Mahem Matzor. Ma Osur. So as the Hischashevi minds be considered amongst them, Rashi is explaining that like you're not like helping them build the stadium or build the place. Not so sure what Rashi means by that. Okay. Mibnei Yishuv Medina. And then he says that you can give Eidas Isha. That's the second reason that you're allowed to go. You're allowed to testify on a woman that like if you see her husband gored to death. So it says Shemeid Eidas Isha Im Roe Chavero Yisrael Neherag Sham Meid Beishto Umasia. Right? If you see your friend killed, you can tell him like, oh, his wife is allowed to now get married. She's not gonna have to sit an aguna for the rest of her life. Okay, that is the Gemara to the first daf. But before the first dot, before we go right there, which we will, please God, there is a taste this. And the taste this says as follows. It says like this. Taste this says like this. Shelo yitchashev imahem. He says, Perish Rashi lechazka, right? Rashi said yitchashev imahem is to strengthen them. Vilatzur ezair. V'harav Rabbeinu Elchanan Piresh. And so Rabbeinu Elchanan explains, Lihiyos mi mispar anshe hatzava shel ovdei kochavim, to be counted as one of the army members of the idolaters. Okay. Excuse me. That's a gewaltige taste. It's right there in the Gemara. 10 minutes, some shady? All right. We're about to go further. I just want to take this time again to welcome my grandparents, Annie and Papa, to the share. Their microphone is off, so I don't think they can say hi, and their video is off, and I don't know if they know how to turn it on, but it's still chill. And I just wanted to say welcome again. We're about to start a new idea. Tanu Rabbanan, we learned in
Bryce.
Ein hochem litartiais v'karkasiais mipnei shemizavlin sham zivul avodas kochavim. Divrei Meir. So you can't go to the theater and you can't go to the circus because they're mizavlin zevel. They're bringing out poo for their idols. Shteigin There. That's where Meir says. The Chachamim say Magom shemizavlin azar. Yeah, if they're doing their. Hold on, I got a good word. Corpophilia, corpomaniacal. Only my Annie might know. I think it has to do with like an obsession with feces. Scatological. Boom, got it. Scatological. Annie, if you're there, scatological, right? We're dealing with scatological topics right now. Scatological has to do with feces. So the Chacham say that if there's scatological activity going on right, because we're afraid that maybe they're doing that, they're like using the poo for idolatry. But a place where they're not using feces for their service of their false gods, their idols. So other than Moshe place. So he's like, if they're doing idolatry there, then it's other because of their scatological idolatry. If they're not doing, if there's not poo around, it's still other because Moshe Vleitzim. That's what the Chum say. So my Beinayus, what's the difference? They're both usher. Why does it matter what the difference is? Amar Rav Chani was an Afkamina. Amar Rav Chanina Misura. So Rav Chanina ben Sura says Nasav and Nasan Ika Beinayu. Oh, if you're doing business. Maybe if you're doing business, so then you're allowed to go to a game. Oh, Eddie Papa, what's up?
Just you can talk now. I think we can hear you.
Yeah, Eddie and Papa, we can hear you. All right. You're allowed to go to a game like for business, maybe for business purposes. Nasav and Nasan. So let's see what Rashi says.
So what does it mean? I don't know what I did.
Maybe it says Mizavlin Sham. So what is that? It says Misajin Sarche Avodas Kuchavim Lehiz Nadev Sham. So basically, by the idolaters, we say Mizavlin. Mizavlin is like they're arranging their idolatrous ways, right? Mizavlin lashon yizvul leni ish. Oh, it's not lashon of like zevel. Sometimes it's lashon of like manure, but here it's lashon of like zvulun, like present. Like you gave me a dude named Zvulun. Inyan chaniya shel chibor. The asifa, a meishner in Old French. So it's like a place where they go and they all gather around. So it says for chashad of Boris Kochav, right? You can't go if you're going to a place where they're getting ready for their idolatry. So then, if you go to a place where they're getting rid of idolatry, so then you can't go to it because someone might think that you're also like an idolater. You know, it's not so geschmack. You go to a place where everyone is worshiping idols and pooing all over and doing who knows what with kids, and like you're just gonna go there and just like sit around. Like, what are people gonna think? Where are you going? I'm going to the place where they're raping children. Nisht. So then it says, "My benayil Rabbi Meir nami kulu asiri." Everything's other Rabbi Meir kulu bechezka zivu lavar gavninu. It's all a chazaka that they're going to, right? That they're going to prepare their idolatry. So it is nasav and nasan. So what's the nafkamina? What the reason is you can't go? This is aser because of idolatry, and this is aser because of moshav leitzim. So what's the nafkamina? What's the difference? 3 minutes, some shady. Allah demeir aneni. Nasav and nasan the remeir nasav and nasan lavoros gochavim aser dehavim nation mizavlin lavoros gochavim stomach amar. The savar devadim is avlos comes. These things, of course, they're doing. They're preparing the idolatrous acts. The eagle and mechash, and you can be worried. Lidmei avodas gochavim biyadai. So, like doing transactions there with all this idolatrous activities, you might like, okay, I'm gonna buy a kosher knish. Little do you know that kosher knish that you're getting change on, that change is aser behana. You know, and then you introduce this to the Israelite fiscal system. The economy Israel zeh letzorech avodas kochavim. The Rabbanan demefarshim mishum chashad leitanos. The Rabbanan who said that there's a worry that it's just like it's moshav leitzim. But they're not worried about other things. They're not worried about avodah zarah. So for them, nasav and nasan, going to a Mets game for business or going to an Utter Tuggers game for business is mutter to lo chayshi. He's not worried about the idolatrous money. He's just saying, listen, it's not a kedai thing to do. Oh, but if you got to go for business and you got to go sit with some in a skybox at an Islanders game, okay, mitzvah. So how much time left?
1 minute and 50 seconds.
Givaldig. Perfect. 1 minute and 50 seconds left. Today we were joined by Annie and Papa, my Heliga, Grandma and Grandpa, my father's parents. It's so apparent that everything that good that I have in my brain is there, and my other grandparents. That's how genetics work. And today we learned about idolatry and going to sports games, and we said you can't do it in the worst way unless it's for business. You're allowed to do it. You're allowed to go to the Utter Tuggers game according to the Chachamim, because there's no chashash of avodah zarah. The only chashash is late sanos and being clown. But if you have a higher purpose and you're not considered one of them, then go and do sports and do stand-up. As long as we're super chilling and you have a ukulele which is tuned, unlike me right now. But we're doing our best. If you see a yid fight a cow and die, chas v'shalom, you gotta tell his wife that she's free. We cannot have agunas, no one in agony. I'm like, my name is Zachary, and my jersey is Kobe Bryant.